Hey, good afternoon, everybody. God bless you, and welcome back to Nixon Nuggets. I am excited. We missed last week due to doing some traveling and ministry, but I am so ecstatic to be back with you tonight. I need you to know that today is going to be an extraordinary day. This is going to be a dynamic dialogue, and I'm excited to share this afternoon with you. I want you to hit that share button right now. I want you to hit that share button, whether you are watching me, whatever platform you're viewing. I need you to hit that share button. Find the way to share this live with as many of your followers as you possibly can. In fact, shoot a text to somebody, start a watch party, get some people around you, even in your proximity right now, wherever you are, and tell them they don't want to miss today's discussion on Nixon Nuggets. I'm excited because we are continuing this path to healing. I am determined. And I want to say it again. I am determined to get every person that is connected to me by way of partnership, by way of membership. I'm determined to get those group of people on their path, on their journey toward their healing. God wants us healed. We are our most effective. We are most impactful when we are healed. Would you let me know right now that you are sharing this broadcast or have already shared? Please comment that right there in the comment section. Let me shout you out. I always shout out the sharers. I always shout out the sharers. Thank you, Durwood. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Evangelist Kimberly Tate. God bless you. Thank you, Latoya Nugent. Thank you, Selena Fields. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, Lonnie McKinstry. God bless you, Lonnie, man. It's been a long time. God bless you, man. Sharon Lawrence, God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you so much for sharing. Mother Cheryl Trappier, God bless you. Wonderful woman of God. Mirren Sellers, God bless you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. My mom has shared. My mom has shared. Thank you for sharing. Rochelle Maxwell, God bless you. And thank you so much for sharing. It is an amazing thing to be able to share. That share button is a lifesaver for so many out here today. Many people, their lives are being impacted in great ways by what is being shared. And be careful of the material that you share. You always want to make sure that you are sharing the right stuff to impact the lives of so many. God bless you. Pastor Marcus Majette, one of my ministry sons there in Charlotte, North Carolina. He served so magnificently while I was away last week in Charleston, South Carolina. He came right down to Charleston and served his pastor in such a magnificent way. Thank you again, Pastor Marcus, for being a true son in the ministry. Listen, the people of God are preparing. The people of God are preparing. Thank you so much, Tatiana, over there on YouTube, has shared. Thank you so much. I'm so appreciative for my YouTube family. For my YouTube family. I want you to know that we are preparing for some major things. We are preparing for some major things. And I'm not talking about anything specifically related to the ministry. I'm talking about preparing for something major in life. Your life is going to encounter something tremendous, something major that requires your mending. I'm preparing for something major, and my mending is required. It's required. I must be mended. I must be healed so that I don't botch my next major moment. And today we want to talk about being healed from the aspect of what occurs during the injury or what occurs during the event that causes the injury. See, a lot of the times we anticipate that when the event passes, or when the happening or the occurrence passes, that the injury that it brought or the harm that it brought is going to pass with the event. It's going to pass with the injury. That's not always the case. And you need to know and you need to understand that there are injuries that linger beyond the event. Many of you are witnessing that right now. Many of you have gone through that, and you are still suffering the effects of what transpired so long ago. It may have happened long ago, but the effects of it are still lingering. Somebody type in the comment section, lingering effects. Lingering effects. How we are affected, and how these things linger, how they linger. And not only do they linger, but they begin to grow. They begin to eat away at us, slowly but surely sometimes. Sometimes it's aggressive in its appetite. Sometimes it's aggressive at eating away at us. But then there are times where it eats away slowly. So we don't really see the need to address it because it's eating slowly. It's taking from us slowly. By the time it really has a real impact and effect on us, the event is so far gone, we forget that it was that event that caused this level of injury. But the injuries do not leave with the event. The injuries do not leave with the happening. So never think that just because you have forgiven an event, forgiven an occurrence in your life, that the effects or the impact of that occurrence is gone with the event, because that still lingers. And I think that's what makes forgiveness so complicated, because although we desire to move past what occurred, there's still the effects that are unaddressed that still linger and cause great harm. They cause great harm to future choices, future judgments, future apprehensions. Many of the things that we apprehend, or many of the things that we are reserved in doing, launching out in, is the result of past injury, past injury, past injury, lingering effects, these things that linger. And what it begins to do is it causes, because the pain doesn't always exit. The pain doesn't always exit right away. What it begins to do is it begins to cause, watch this, misery. It begins to cause misery. Because watch this, the pain of your life is personalized. The pain of your life, the injury of your life is personalized to you. It's tailored to you. So it brings you into a state of loneliness. When you are going through a state, a level of brokenness, when you have been impacted negatively, it brings you into a space of loneliness. It's very hard for others to identify with your pain. Very hard for others. They may try, but their words, their encouragement is insufficient, because no one knows the exact level of impact that event, that occurrence had on you. And everyone responds to injury differently. All right. So this thing is tailored to you. This thing is pinpointed to you. And when that happens, it brings about a loneliness and isolation. And let me tell you something. Loneliness is not good. And I know we're in a time where everybody is projecting, that isolation, and I don't need nobody, and and I'm good by myself, and I'm fine alone. But let me tell you something. The reality of that, concept and that mode of thinking is false. It is a false narrative, because loneliness in itself is its own punishment. I want you to put that right there in the comment section. Loneliness is its own punishment. Somebody put that right in the comment section. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's have the conversation today. Let's talk about it today. Let's chat today. Loneliness itself is punishment. Whenever you are isolated, whenever you are stuck in a particular state, whenever you are stuck in a particular thought by yourself, it's punishment. Years ago, I remember preaching the message, don't leave me to my thoughts. Don't leave me to my thoughts. Because to be in that state, left alone, is punishment. It can be brutal. It can be brutal to be left to your own thoughts. Then you get into overthinking. Then you get into creating narratives, creating storylines that do not exist. Loneliness is its own punishment. We were not created to be isolated. We were created to be relational. We were created for connectivity. God himself looks down and sees his creation of man and says this, it is not good for man to be alone. Oh, let me say that again. It is not good for man to be alone, not just for sexuality purposes, but for companionship. It is not good for man to be alone. Loneliness is its own punishment. John is banished to the Isle of Patmos. He is banished there alone as a punishment. And thankfully, God meets him there. But loneliness in itself is punishment. So when you're dealing with somebody who is in a state of being, in a state of mind, in a state of emotionalism by themselves, they are under great distress. They are under duress. They are being punished inwardly. Inwardly. Are you with me today? Are you hearing me? This is where depression enters. This is where thoughts of suicide enters. This is where attempts of suicide enters, because it is unbearable to be lonely. It becomes unbearable because we were not created that way. And even when you run into someone who's saying, hey, leave me alone. I just want to be left alone. I don't feel like being bothered. You've got to have enough discernment to see beyond that. You got to have enough discernment to see beyond and to hear beyond those words, because no one wants to truly be left by themselves. It's a dangerous place. Now, I'm not saying that this is 24/7. I'm not saying that people don't desire some time to be alone at times, just to debrief, just to recoup, just to rest, just to have a breather. I'm not saying that. I'm not suggesting that. What I am suggesting is when we get to the place where we want to do life by ourselves, we want to do business by ourselves. We were created to collaborate. We were created to connect. And most times when we're dealing with that isolation, it is because some injury has occurred that has brought about a great distrust. That has brought about a great distrust. And now there is an apprehension to trust again. There's an apprehension to embrace again. Because ultimately, we always try to evade the pain that comes along with betrayal or separation. So we try to evade that. So it's better not to connect. Who is this helping right now? Who is this ministering to right now? Who is this talking to and speaking to right now? It's better to just avoid it altogether so that I don't have to go through the pain of it. I don't have to go through the pain of being deceived. I don't have to go through the pain of being abandoned. I don't have to go through the pain of being betrayed. So I would rather not at all. And that is the desire, watch this, of darkness. That is the desire of that which is wicked and evil, is to keep us isolated when we were created to be a community. When we were created to interact with one another. So your future is major, but your mending is required. You've got to be mended in order to embrace the fullness of what your future is going to yield to you. So we've got to be healed, not from the event, because you may say, I'm over the event, but it's the effects that the event left in your life, the residue that the occurrence and the happening left in your life. It left something there that you desperately need it to be uprooted and dealt with. We deal with situations, but we don't deal with the effects. We don't deal with the impact. I've got to deal with the impact. I've got to deal with the residue. I got to deal with what was left beyond that. Because something happened to my trust when that event happened. So I'm asking God in this session for us today to heal us from the effects, the residue that was left. I want the residue gone. I got to get down to the root. I want the residue of this gone. How many of you want the residue gone? Come on, I want you to type that right now. I want the residue gone. I don't want any particles left. Not even a small part. I want nothing cancerous, nothing toxic left in my body. I want it all to be removed. And not just the physical body. We're talking about the emotional body, the mental body, the spiritual body. I want the residue gone. Gone. Yes, John. Yes, Ashley. Yes. Come on, we getting it. We getting it. We getting it. I want the residue gone. 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 I want it gone. Yes, Raynell. Yes, Elaine. Come on, where y'all at? Where y'all at? I want the residue gone. Gone. Because I want to get a little bit deeper into this to help you to understand that the loneliness found in brokenness is a detriment to the external community. When you are left in a lonely state, that is the detriment to anybody in your proximity. Anybody in your community is at risk due to your loneliness. Why? Because your loneliness has you stuck in misery. And you all have adopted the phrase, and I think all of society has adopted the phrase, misery loves company. But here's the thing. It's not the misery itself that loves the company. It's the individual that loves the company and desires the companionship. And sometimes people cannot help the state that they are in when they desire the companionship. And there's no state that desires companionship greater than loneliness. When a person is lonely, the desire for companionship is even greater. The challenge is who they reach out to. Either they reach out to someone who worsens the loneliness and the misery, or they reach out to people that they bring into their misery and loneliness. So being left alone is being given over to a state of misery. And not every person who is miserable intentionally tries to make others miserable. It's just the aroma they give off. It's just the fragrance they give off. It's just who they are in that particular state. They cannot help in that moment who they are because they're still dealing with residue. They're still dealing with the effects of something that may be long gone, may have happened long ago, but the residue was left. The residue was left. Miserable people. Miserable people. And we have painted them in society to be these horrible individuals. But 9 times out of 10, most of the people who are miserable either don't know they are, they can't acknowledge that they are, or they're always looking for someone to fix it. It's a cry for help. Fix me. How many of you have known people like that or have been that person yourself? It takes great courage to be able to admit that you've been that person. But there are some people who are just saying, fix me. I don't want to be broken. I don't want to be, miserable. I don't want to be in this state. In fact, I don't like being in this state. I don't like this feeling that I have. But nobody can fix me. Nobody seems to be able to fix me. And can I tell you something? The fixing for the internal doesn't always come from the external. The fixing for the internal does not always come from the external. When you need something fixed within you, you can't always find it outside of you. Now, there are some people who will be able to walk you through the steps, but what they're ultimately going to do is get you to tap into where things fell apart internally. What transpired internally? What were the effects that happened in your life internally after that thing occurred? We got to get to the healing place. We got to get to the place where we are recovered. We got to get to the place where we are made whole. It's not just the healing, but I also want to be made whole. I need the effects of what transpired in the harm to be removed from me. Else I can be far removed from the event, but still have the limp. Are you listening to me? We got to join this path of healing. We got to get on this path of healing. We got some things, we got some work that we have to do. We have some things that we have to accomplish, some things that we have to achieve. But every injury that has left a residue in your life, some particles, some pieces in your life that's looking for another situation or another connection to attach itself to, those things have to be removed. People are entering into marriages with residue. People are entering into entrepreneurial partnerships with residue. People are joining ministries. Let me go further. People are starting ministries with residue. I must address my brokenness. I'm dealing with my brokenness. Are you with me? Now there's a level of brokenness that is completely healthy for the distribution of what you have to offer. But when we start talking about being broken to the place where you hurt other people or break other people, that's the level of brokenness that has to be addressed. And I want you to understand, church experiences are wonderful, but church experiences, and I need you to hear me and hear me clearly, church experiences are not the end all be all for your healing internally. And I think in a lot of cases, we go to church looking for the people at the church to fix our brokenness. And you know what's the crazy part about it? When you get to the church, you are surrounded by broken people. People who have come for the same purpose in which you've come. Here's the truth. The truth is, and I can say this as a senior pastor, after the church service is over, you got to put in the work that is required to obtain your healing. Your pastor, your mothers, your evangelists, your deacons, your choir, all of those folk in there are not the answer to your brokenness. They can be an assist. They may sing a song. They may preach a sermon that may help, that may break up the ground, get you started. But after the service is over, after it has been benedicted, there is some work that you've got to put in, some work that you've got to do in order to really meet your recovery. Oh my God, have you hit that share button yet? Have you hit that share button yet? Have you hit that share button yet? We keep experiencing some levels of church hurt, not all levels, but some levels of what we call church hurt is being experienced because of, watch this, false expectation. Unrealistic expectation. That's not even real what you're expecting. It's not real. Somebody put it in the comment section. It's not real. See, I'm having you to type it so that you can help me help somebody else. And maybe perhaps help me help you. Because that's not real. These unrealistic expectations that we have placed on the house of God, on the men and women of God, it's not real. They're messengers. They will come to give you the message, the word of the Lord, but the work is now in your hands. It's not real when you go into these spaces and expect these spaces to be your complete recovery, to be your complete healing. But then when you leave out of those spaces, there's no work put in. You don't maintenance. You don't steward what you received in the move of God. Just a few weeks ago, we had the Pentecost celebration, and every year we have these celebrations at the church, and the Pentecost celebration most of all, because that's when everybody wants, the fire of the Holy Spirit to fall down. And oh my God, we had a time in God and we couldn't sit down, and we shouted and we danced all over the room. And the question I always ask is, who benefited from that? When you leave out of those experiences, who benefits? Because if you leave out of those experiences and return back to misery, then the experience itself was for naught. Somebody has to benefit. I got what I needed in the worship service. I received my charge. I got empowered. Yes, now I leave the worship services so that I can be impactful in someone else's life. But I got to do the work to make sure that my brokenness is healed, it's mended, so that I can be of service to someone else. But if we're just gathering, having a good time, that's not the end all be all. The expectation is unrealistic. I want to be where I'm assigned. I want to be where I can be helped. I want to be where I can watch this, where I can grow, where I can feed, and where I can grow. I need a word that's going to challenge me. I need a word that's going to help my mindset change. I need a word that's going to make me think. I need a word that's going to alter my perspective. Amen. Amen. It's time for healing to occur, because if we stay in these states of misery, we continue to spread this misery. Misery is spreading. Misery is spreading. Misery is spreading like crazy. It's the loneliness of your life that desires companionship. You're lonely in your pain. You're lonely in your misery. And that's what desires the companionship. I just need somebody to come in and be company for me in this. But that's so dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. It's so dangerous because you begin to spread that misery, or you enable your own misery by allowing others who are miserable to come in and sit with you in it. And if you remember a couple of weeks ago, we started talking about that man at the pool of Bethesda for 38 years. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, we have to stop fostering connections that keep us broken. We have to stop fostering connections that do not enhance us. Part of the reason why we are not healed, part of the reason why we are not in our journey of healing, and I kept saying this last night during our Bible study, it's the counsel of the ungodly. It's the counsel of the ungodly. It's the counsel of the ungodly. We keep toxicity in our spirit. We keep toxicity in our ear. And people can kind of discern where we are. They can kind of see where we are, and they feed that place. They feed that space. They feed those feelings. Your partnerships ought to be intentional as it relates to your healing journey. I'm tired of being broken. How many of you right now who are listening to me, how many of you are right now on, no matter what platform you're viewing, how many of you right now are just tired of the brokenness? You can't think clearly when you're broken. You lack strength and energy when you're broken. You lack drive when you're broken. I got to get up from this place. I got to get up from this state. I can recover. God bless you, Pastor Darren Farmer. God bless you, man. Good to have you on with us. And watch this. You can recover. I need you to hear me today. It is my mission today to get and to drive into your spirit. You can recover. You can recover. Somebody begin to declare that right now. I can recover. I can recover. But a lot has happened. But a lot has transpired. But you've lost a lot. But you've been through a lot. But so much attack. You've been under such heavy attack. No, I can recover. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. You took some hits. Some of you took some major hits, and the effects of those hits are still prevalent and present in your life right now. But I want to tell you, you can recover, you can be healed, you can be restored. And you can become an instrument utilized in someone else's recovery. Because when they see what you have come back from, they too will gain a hope that they can recover as well. Where are y'all today? Where are y'all today? Where are y'all today? Where are all the saints that say, I can recover? I can. Yeah, come on. I can recover. Yes. Yes. And I will recover. I can and I will. I can and I will. You don't have to continue living out the narrative of your brokenness. You don't have to continue living out the past and the things that you've done and the things that have happened to you. All of these things, all of these things that have occurred in your life can actually be tools to help you build a formidable future. You are a force to be reckoned with. But in your loneliness and in your brokenness, you have been incapable of seeing your fullest potential. Stone upon stone, brick upon brick. Let the recovery begin. Let the recovery begin. Let the healing journey begin. And everyone will not understand this change that's happening with you. Everyone will not understand, nor will they be able to comprehend these things that are occurring in your life. What's up with her? What's up with him? But I have to allow, watch this, my progress to be my explanation, because I'm so deep into my recovery. I'm so invested into my process that I can't even stop and explain it. I've got to let my progress be my explanation. When you see all that I'm accomplishing, all that I'm doing, all of the ground that I'm covering, all of the time that I'm redeeming and reclaiming, then it will make sense to you what it is that I'm doing. It's time to heal. It's time to heal. And listen at me. Healing doesn't seek vengeance. I want to say that again. Healing does not seek vengeance. So you can't tell me that you're on the path of healing while you're still trying to injure someone else. You can't tell me that you're on the path of healing while you're still trying to get back at someone else. Healing doesn't seek vengeance. Healing is an investment into self. Somebody type that, because that's so good. I don't want you to ever forget that. Healing is an investment into self. Healing is introspective. I'm looking within. I'm dealing with what's going on within. And the reason why we're not healing is because we're constantly trying to get back at, and we're looking at someone else, and we're waiting on someone else to fall and fail. And we're waiting on someone else, praise the name of the Lord, to experience what they did to me and what they did to you. We're sitting in the window watching for karma. Healing has got to be so invested into self that whatever is going on over there with them, that's what's going on. That's between them and God. Healing is an investment into self. Many of you talk about self-care, but you're still worried about what's going on with everybody else. You're still worried about what's going on down the street. You're still worried about what's happening with your enemies. And you're still worried about self-care is an investment into self. I'm investing into self. I'm resolving unresolved issues within myself. I'm getting into me in this season. And that's not saying I'm being selfish. That's not saying I'm not concerned about others. That's not saying that at all. What it's saying is I am so tired of living with the residue. I'm suffocating my future and the potential of my future with living with the residue of what happened in the past. I can't even give my best self to future connections because I'm still reeling and rocking over what happened in a previous connection. But you still have your best you to offer. You still have your best you to offer. So this has to be the year. This has to be the year where we tap into our best self. And many of you think that the people of your past or the situations of your past or the choices of your past got your best you. That's not so. The, the past situations, the past connections, they didn't get your best self. They developed your best you. They were a part of your development. It was a part of your development. That place was a part of your development. Your best you is current. Your best you is very present. And anybody who's going to get you in your next season is going to get your best you. This next opportunity that's going to come to you is going to get your best you. I love that. I love that, Evangelist Kimberly Tate. And I think everybody needs to follow. I think everybody needs to follow you right now. I think everybody needs to go ahead and type that. My best me is current and present. Nobody took my best me. No job, no connection, no failed marriage, no betrayal, no church, no bad decision. They didn't get my best me. They helped to develop my best me, but my best me is current and present. I'm here. I'm very much here. I want to tell every pastor, you haven't preached your best sermon yet. I want to tell every mother, you have not even seen the best come out of your children yet. I want to tell every entrepreneur, you have not seen your best opportunity yet. Your best you is current, it's present. I'm here. I'm still here. Yes, that happened. Yes, that occurred, but I'm still here. And in this moment, I'm invested into me. I'm invested into my healing because something major, I keep hearing this and I keep saying it, and I hope y'all are catching it. Something major is about to happen in your life. And the major that's about to happen in your life requires the mending of you. Pull yourself together. Pull yourself together with every intent of being your best self. All right, our lunch hour is almost completed. And I know you got to get back to whatever your day is going to yield. But I hope this is helping you. I hope this is blessing you. Would you let me know if this is blessing you? Would you let me know if this is helping you right now in that comment section? Come on, YouTubers. Come on, Facebookers. Let me know if this is helping you right now in that comment section. I'm on the path to my healing. I'm on it. I'm on it. The residue of everything that has transpired in my life is getting ready to go. And you'll know when the residue is gone, when the dialogue about it changes. You'll know the residue is gone when the dialogue about it changes. You're no longer spewing venom as it relates to that subject. You're no longer, fire is not coming out of you when it comes down to that subject any longer. When the residue, man, when the residue is gone, the dialogue about it changes. It's no longer a nightmare, it's a testimony. And that's what God wants for us. He wants for us to go from a horror tale to a testimony. And I thank God that he's taking our traumas and he's making them testimonials. That's what healing does. Healing takes the trauma and makes it testimonial. It'll be a story of how you got over. Man, I would that you would invest in this moment. I would that you would sow into this moment. It's the seed of 2022. The seed of 2022. The seed of $20.22. Would you do that now? Would you make that investment now? Would you sow into that moment now? Would you sow into that? What am I sowing into? I'm sowing into my healing. Healing is an investment into self. And I am determined that this year is going to be the year I pursue my healing. Would you do that now? Would you do that now? The ways for you to sow are right there on the screen. Would you sow now? Would you participate in this now? Now is the moment to release it. Now is the moment to come into agreement with it. I need to do this now because now is the time where I am embracing every single moment of this year to be my time of healing. The residue. The residue. Some of you may have questioned, where did this anxiety come from? Where did this fear come from? Where did this apprehensiveness come from? I was never really like this. It's the residue of something that had occurred in your life. The situation is gone, but it left packages. It dropped seeds in your life. But in this season, we're gathering up all of those seeds that were left to choke out your harvest and to choke out your future. And we're tossing those seeds away. We're getting rid of those seeds. We're getting rid of those seeds. There you go. There you go. There you go. I see the dones in the comment section. Soon as you're doing it, soon as you have done it, soon as you have released the seed, comment the word done. I've done it, Bishop. I've done it. And I believe that once we address the residue, the effects, those seeds that were dropped in our lives, let me tell you something. Let me tell you what I believe is going to happen. All of those anxieties, all of those fears, all of that apprehensiveness, all of that procrastination is going to be uprooted, and all of it's going to go through a transformation, and you're going to find yourself on fire again. You're going to find yourself leaping, running through troops and leaping over walls. You're going to find yourself vibrant again. You've lost your drive, and the only reason why you have lost your drive is because something was dropped off in your life. Something was dropped off in your life from an event, from an occurrence that happened years ago. A disappointment, a dysfunction, something transpired, a violation, something transpired that dropped off seeds in your life that would alter your future and alter your next. But in this next season, we're going after all of that stuff that was left. We're tossing it. It's got to go. It's got to go. It's got to go. It's got to go. Man, the power of God has been with us this afternoon. The power of God has been with us this afternoon. I encourage you that whether you're watching us live or whether you're watching the playback, I encourage you to sow into this moment. I encourage you to embrace this like never before. Embrace this moment like never before. And don't you miss the opportunity to recover, because you can. I don't care how severe it was. I don't care how bad the event. I don't care what type of residue it has left in your life and what kind of seeds it dropped off in your life. You can recover, and you will. And it's time for you to get up from there. It's time for you to square your shoulders. It's time for you to stand upright. And it's time for you to recover. You can and you will. The question is, are you ready? And before I get off of here today, I want to see all of the people on YouTube, on Facebook. I want you to shout it out right there in that comment section. I'm ready to recover. I'm ready to recover. I am so ready to recover. Come on. I want to see you type it right now. I'm ready. Bishop Nixon, I am ready to recover. I promise you I'm ready. I promise you I'm ready. There's a future that's calling me. There's a business that I have to start. Yeah, I see it. There are things I have to plant. There are people I have to help. There are villages I have to build. Yeah, I'm a sponsor. Yeah, I'm a sponsor. Yeah, there are processes I have to complete and finish. Yeah, I'm so ready to recover. I'm so ready to recover. Yes, Tammy Clark said, I'm so ready. Yeah. I see you all there. Yeah, new ideas, fresh vision that's relevant for the future. For many of you, God is going to literally download new ideas that's relevant for the future. All of the methodologies that you have had have been antiquated and only worked for a time of yesterday. But in this next hour, God's downloading fresh vision to you as to how you can maximize and optimize on moments of the future. Oh my God, it's getting ready to be incredible. I keep saying it. Something major is about to occur. You need to go ahead and receive that. You need to go ahead and embrace that. You need to go ahead and celebrate God for it, because the major is about to occur in your life. The major is about to occur in your life. And if you're ready for it, go after it. But don't go if you are broken and miserable. Mend first, then go. Mend first, then go, so that you don't botch up what God is about to do in your life. It's going to be major. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be outstanding. Listen, I want you to get ready, because watch this. At the end of every month, we do a Zoom prayer and prophetic call. So you don't want to miss next week's call, okay? Next week, there's going to be a call, and we'll put up the information for you. So I want you to stay tuned so that you'll know how to check in and be a part of it. I have enjoyed our time together today, and I trust that you have as well. Until next time, enjoy your day, everybody.